All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Some technical difficulties with Twitter.
Good. How's everyone going? Kyle, how are you? You all right?
Yeah, doing good. Yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm very excited to have a chat to Omar Mason today. Should be a good chat and some interesting things going on with Joyride at the moment.
Yeah. All right. We've got some people piling in. There's Joyride.
Hi, everyone.
Absolutely. Hey, Omar, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm excited.
Great to be here and excited to chat with you today.
Yeah, we'll give it a couple of minutes and then I'll do some around the grounds and then we'll get going and go from there.
Sounds great.
Whereabouts are you based from? Palo Alto?
Yes, I'm in the Bay Area, so
Nice.
I know we're gathering people from all corners of the world, and so
Yeah.
apologies to everyone who is joining at an ungodly hour.
Unfortunately, I'm in Australia and it's 11:30 in the morning, so I am happy with what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are already looking forward to the weekend already,
Yeah.
getting within reach of the weekend.
One day ahead.
Yeah, you've taken the hump relative to us already.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I actually went to Sunnyvale and I stayed there for some work stuff previously, but it was interesting because I worked for a large tech company, and whenever we released a new product, if you're in Australia, you actually got it before everyone else. So you'd be cheering when you're in Australia.
That's amazing. I want to confirm my audio quality. Is everything coming through okay?
Yeah, you sound very good. Thanks.
Okay, excellent.
Sweet. How many people have we got? 29 at the moment. All right, we'll give it a little bit longer and then we'll get going.
Sounds great.
All right. And this is your first Twitter space as well?
We did one about a week ago, actually, for our community. But yes, it's definitely a new vehicle for me, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I think it is picking up, and we'll run over, and I might actually go over some little housekeeping for the Twitter app itself. So down the bottom left corner, if you're on a mobile device, you will actually see that there's a request button. We will have questions at some point in time, so feel free to click that button. On the right-hand side down the bottom, you'll see who's actually in this Twitter space. And there's a little heart there. So I'd love everyone to click the heart and then give us a little reaction, whether it be a wave or something else, just to know that you do know what that little reaction button is. So let's give it a go. Thanks, Omar.
I want to make sure I comply.
Yeah, I appreciate that. All right, now we're getting some reactions.
All right, Steve. We should do a little leaderboard on reactions.
Just
to create a little positive dynamic here.
Yeah, that's what we want. All right, I reckon let's dig in. What are we? 11:37. Yep. All right. Well, really quickly, my name is Daniel. You will see FrankenSense there. I'm the community moderator and kind of content creator for Matrix World. And for our listeners who aren't familiar with Matrix World, it's a multi-chain metaverse built on Flow and Ethereum. So we do have something in common here as well. Established in 2020 by some extremely smart developers. Collectively, they're known as Matrix Labs. And Matrix Labs, you might actually have heard of recently because they were the technical partners for Fantabears, one of the biggest launch. Really quickly, in a minute, we'll get to know Omar Mason. Mason is the head of gaming as well. But I'll pause at some point in time and we'll open the floor for questions and kind of create that AMA space as well. Now, before I get Omar and Mason up, Joyride is certainly a company that caught my attention. For anyone that doesn't know from Matrix World, they are a creator platform for Web3 games. They'll provide all the tools you need to push and scale your blockchain games. And I actually downloaded Solitaire Blitz yesterday and gave it a go, and I did win, so I'm happy to announce that as well.
That's great.
But the interesting thing, and Omar, you can speak to this in this conversation as well, is that it seems like the company was established a while ago as well. So I actually looked back at company history, and the Twitter was created in 2016, so well before this Web3 boom. And you've had a huge amount of team on board. You've got team from Disney, Electronic Arts, over 50 employees worldwide. Yourself, you're a lecturer, a product design lecturer at Stanford University. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, awesome. So the first thing I want to ask is, I'd love you to give me a brief overview of Joyride and where you're at now.
Sure. So as you noted, we're not necessarily starting off now, with a, fresh canvas to start painting. We've actually been working on our platform for a number of years now. But our journey really began in games back in 2007. And so as a team, we've been building high quality, scaled, approachable, casual games since 2007, starting in the Facebook Canvas ecosystem, then moving to iOS, and then Android. And so over the years, we've been really lucky to have been a part of great companies like Playdom and Disney, where I was a studio general manager, as well as Kiwi. And cumulatively have entertained we were doing some back of the envelope math, entertained at least 400 to 500 million people over the years in the games we've built and scaled. And Joyride came about because we wanted to offer the same capabilities and the same infrastructure that we had developed over the years in building scaled casual experiences to other developers, right? And our vision was, hey, how can we build a publishing stack, a developer stack, an analytics stack that really allows a Unity developer to focus on building a great game, and we can then work with them through our technology stack to provide them everything else they need to be successful, right? And so we started on that mission and started, basically down that path a few years ago. And along the way, we realized that being able to support not just scaled games with a traditional business model, but rather focusing in on providing a complete stack for developers to build Web3 games was a much more interesting problem than necessarily just focusing on traditional game models. And so today, we are excited to unveil what we've been working on for some time now, which is an end-to-end stack that allows a game developer to not just access traditional capabilities like analytics, A/B testing, publishing, user acquisition, growth, developer tools like metagame, but also powers NFT minting, NFT marketing, and a multi-chain token wallet for the same. And Solitaire Blitz is the first game we've launched that is being powered by Joyride. In addition, we've announced Tennis Champs, which is a upcoming NFT-based game project where we're planning a mint towards the end of this month, and are really excited to keep growing the games and the projects that Joyride is powering as our community grows as well. So hopefully that gives you a good overview. Happy to dig into whatever aspects are most interesting.
Yeah, it's a great overview, and I suppose I'm quite interested in the progress and how you've come from one thing to another thing as well, which is quite a big change. I mean, like how has it been kind of taking that community from a Web 2 to a Web 3 sort of ecosystem?
Mm-hmm. So, at the end of the day, we're focused on building great, approachable games, right? And that happens not in a vacuum. That happens by providing tools that people can use that empower them. And so our focus throughout has been game developers and game creators. Now, being able to support the Web3 features they need obviously required us to expand our skill set and expertise. And we were really lucky to have an amazing team member who's been, in blockchain and crypto as an active contributor for almost a decade. And so being able to extend the game engine and the other tools that we were developing definitely, took us almost a year. So it's not like it happened overnight, but we've been really lucky to have had that expertise so that we could transition and add the functionality we needed to be able to, provide the blockchain features in addition to the traditional features that game developers need.
Yeah, that's really cool. It was interesting when I was playing Solitaire Blitz, you would have no idea that this is a company that's, big on Web3 or kind of integrating NFTs and things like that. And I suppose is your idea that, as you were saying, there is no distinguishment between someone knowing they're playing a blockchain game or not?
That's right. So at the end of the day, I've obviously been interested in blockchain for a long time, and I've been tracking the progress of the ecosystem. But at the end of the day, we are game makers who enjoy building projects that can get hundreds of millions of players, right? Like, that's our background, that's our history, that's what gets me out of bed in the morning. And being able to work with developers to enable those types of scaled experiences is what I'm very excited about, right? And so for us, the goal is to provide the infrastructure and to power the game experience that would allow a player who doesn't know anything about crypto to start playing the game, having fun with it. And as that experience unfolds for them, we educate them and support them in taking advantage of the features that being blockchain powered enables, right? So that's exactly the point, to some degree, in the onboarding and in the early game experience. But by the same token, if you as a player wanted to take advantage of blockchain features like withdrawing your in-game tokens to sell on an exchange, or importing or exporting your NFTs, all of those are supported by our platform, but as part of a user experience that we think is going to be required to get the next billion people to play casual games that are on blockchain.
That's cool. I've got a couple of technical questions based off kind of that stuff as well. So who, I suppose we'll start with the first one. You've got kind of two blockchains that you're looking into, Ethereum, and I know we've got a lot of Flow fans on this Twitter space as well, so they'll be happy to hear us talk about Flow. How did it come to that you wanted to work with Flow, and I suppose what started that decision?
So like in general, we looked at various blockchains that would address our technical needs, right? And Flow and Solana relative to Ethereum for basically high velocity, lower cost transactions, like obviously are much more suitable than necessarily, directly writing to Ethereum. On the other hand, in terms of NFTs, there's a lot of NFT players and collectors who really want their NFT to live on Ethereum, for example. And so the approach we've taken is a multi-chain approach, which I think is quite akin to Matrix World as well, which is why I thought it was really interesting for us to partner on this AMA. At the end of the day, philosophically, we believe it's our responsibility to provide and power a user experience that makes it irrelevant for the casual user what blockchain is, their data is living on, until or unless they really care, right? And so what that means is that, we support Flow, we support Solana. We will be adding additional chains as well, as far as they relate to our core token, the GRX token, which is being used across our ecosystem, which is currently in beta and is active on testnet, in Flow, in Solitaire Blitz, right? By the same token, for our NFTs, we are currently basically working through a drop that is on Ethereum, but we are planning on following it up with a drop on Flow as well. And then also on Solana down the road. Because at the end of the day, philosophically, just like you guys, we want to provide people the flexibility to choose if they care. And on the other hand, if they don't care, as a casual user new to this form of asset ownership, we also want to give them a really smooth onboarding.
Yep. I really loved with the tennis champs, you've kind of set up the model where it is like a level-based system. Can you talk to that a little bit and kind of talk about how people would rank up and how they would score more points and competition-wise?
Sure. So Tennis Champs is our first NFT-powered game featuring our champs characters. And the notion is that these champs characters are going to be expressed in a universe of games where they're featured going forward. And so obviously Tennis Champs is the first one, where they're all wearing cute tennis outfits and they get to play, and you get to use them to play in the game. And in the future, we've already announced Battle Champs as a follow-up title, where it's the same characters that are now carrying guns and shooting each other in an arena battle game. And we have other similar games already in production featuring these characters, right? In the case of Tennis Champs, the way the NFT characters work in the game is that when you play the game, and this is the game at launch, and it is going into beta late April, early May with this particular feature set. The notion is that you can use your NFT character in the game, and by virtue of playing the game, you are able to earn XP, which levels up and attaches to your character and allows you to then access gameplay features that you would otherwise not have access to if you were a lower level character versus a higher level character, right? And so over time, obviously, the ability to access different features, different tournaments, different formats is a capability and value add that is attached to each NFT, in addition to its core, visual attributes that are generated using, 16 different elements in a combinatorial manner. And our plan is that this is obviously, version 1 that we're launching with. Over the course of the coming year, we will be adding additional role-playing game mechanics to the game that allows you to continue to evolve and upgrade your character in new and interesting ways, and really build it out as an action RPG over the long term, which it would then be a format that is shared by other games in the Champs sort of multiverse as well.
Cool. Sounds very exciting. We talked about NFTs and kind of those, they develop and they change. How are those assets being handled? Does the user get their own wallets, or is it kind of you've got a system that links them back to that NFT? Where are they kind of stored?
Yeah, so we have a Joyride wallet, and we offer people the ability to basically import or export assets from a third-party wallet. So if people want to use a MetaMask for it, that's fine. They can keep their NFTs in MetaMask, but share their wallet address with us, which would allow us to then verify their ownership and then give them access to that NFT in the game itself. But we also offer a Joyride wallet as a means of making it easy for people who are not as well versed in technology, in blockchain technology, to be able to, for example, get an NFT and use it with the ability to export out of the Joyride wallet anytime they want, if they so choose.
Yeah, and I suppose on the back of that, you mentioned briefly about education. Can you give us insight into what sort of education you plan to do? Is it more just in-app, or is it more you can be running sort of sessions for your users? How is this education going to come in?
I think a lot of that is going to evolve as the community evolves, to be honest with you.
Yep.
But as a practical matter, we're obviously trying to make it a very easy and straightforward user experience in the mobile app itself. Keep in mind that these are mobile applications on Apple and Google. And so we are also, being very careful to respect App Store guidelines in terms of what we can and cannot do. We also have a website wallet where users can manage their wallet with their, Joyride assets in it. And that's where we obviously have a lot more freedom to provide additional information to users in terms of educating them and giving them collateral there. But this is all very much what we intend to basically launch and evolve over the course of this year, starting in April with Tennis Champs.
Yep. We'll talk a bit more about the platform, if that's all right. The first question is, when someone comes to you, what do they need to give you? What sort of knowledge and background do they need to have to start developing their own game?
I would say we're definitely looking. The goal is to make it easier for someone who is a seasoned Unity game developer to be able to build a full-featured game powered by blockchain, right? Like, that's our vision and our goal. Now, if you have a mobile esports game, for example, which is in the same genre as Solitaire Blitz, we can help you a lot by also providing you code that you can utilize and plug your mini game experience, like, for example, the equivalent of a solitaire game or some other mini game experience in our metagame format, and then take advantage of our platform in terms of publishing and propagating that game and launching it as well, right? On the other hand, if you have a full-featured game that's already complete and what you're really looking for is help with basically converting the game's economy to a blockchain-based economy, and access NFT features. We could also help you with that, but at that point, we're providing you exclusively the Web3 features, and then partnering with you in the growth and analytics and other aspects that you might need. Right. So it's very much a case-by-case basis to some degree. Because obviously we have a number of different modules that can be helpful to our developer partners, and what they want to take advantage of really depends on their circumstances.
Yeah, it's cool. Can you make me a token, or is it you've just got the JRX token at the moment? There's limitations there.
We have the JRX token at the moment, and that is what we are using across games. We do intend to explore creating sort of derivative tokens that are still indexed to the JRX token that are specific to a particular game. But the manner in which we imagine that is that it's going to be reserved either for particular marquee launches, for example, for well-established franchises where it makes sense for them to create their own sort of micro economy within the larger Joyride economy, or the larger JRX economy, I should say, or when it is in fact a game that's already inflected and is a meaningful node in JRX, and it makes sense to sort of carve it out on a derivative basis. But everything would still link back to JRX as sort of the underlying index, as it were, in those circumstances as well. But that is something that we definitely reserve for the future. Right now, we're trying to keep it simple as we launch and learn and scale.
Yep. I saw you've got 3 games in the beta, a beta, I got told. I'm saying that weird this morning when I was on a call with someone. You've got 3 games in beta phase at the moment. What's the future look like? You've got a few more that are coming up as well?
Yes. So the way we've been launching, though I think this will probably evolve as we progress, has been that we basically have taken games, we launch them into what we call alpha, which allows us to test the game with fiat. And then we enable it with blockchain and launch it into beta on testnet. And so at the moment, we have obviously, so Trivia, so we've already discussed Solitaire Blitz, which is in beta on testnet. Tennis Champs has gone through a successful alpha with fiat, and we're going to be launching it with NFTs on testnet towards the end of April. And we have also got Trivia, which is going to be on blockchain on testnet in the next month to month and a half. Beyond that, we have an active pipeline. You should expect to see us pushing a game into beta every couple of months at the very least. But our hello, did I get cut off?
No, you're good. You're good. That was
got it. But the thing that we want to be careful of is that we will push games into beta when they're ready to be in beta, but we will only launch the games that we feel are meeting the cut as far as metrics, as far as fun factor, etc. Right? Because we're definitely trying to take a curated approach as opposed to just launching a bunch of stuff.
Yep. And have any of these games translated from the years leading up to this, or are they all new development that you've come up with?
Solitaire we launched, into alpha like last summer, and it spent a good 6 months in alpha, and we were powering, almost $500,000 a month in fiat GMV in that game, before we then have taken that RMG, that real money fiat game, and have now relaunched it on blockchain. And so they've all been purpose-built for our platform, but we have taken a fiat-based approach to getting them out the door in front of players before then qualifying them for blockchain. I think going forward, we'll probably skip that step and go straight to testnet for that qualification process as well. But they've all been purpose-built for our platform.
Cool. I think I've only got 1 or 2 more questions that I can think of at the moment. But when I went on the Instagram account, there was a the live sort of trivia things that we're doing. Is that a bit of the past now? What was going on there?
That is a bit of the past. Basically, we were trying to find, those are from like 2016, 2017, so they're very dated. When we first started out, we were looking to find the opportunity to publish, basically we wanted to provide a platform for next gen entertainment experiences. That's been our journey with Joyride. And one of the angles that we explored, in our earliest days was actually, would live video experiences be a wedge that could, allow us to make new game formats exploiting live video? And I still think there's real potential there, to be honest. Because obviously, HQ Trivia was an early experiment that worked really well. There's definitely some interesting stuff happening on Twitch now as well that is super exciting. And so I do hope to revisit live video powered by Joyride, but it would be with, Web3 business models attached, because to me, the opportunity to offer a brand new means by which players can own and power game economies is the disruptive, sort of the next economic disruption, frankly. The biggest economic disruption, I think, since free-to-play and mobile. And but I do think there's going to be a diversity of experiences that take advantage of that core capability. And we certainly want to provide the tools for anyone to take advantage of that, including in live video, hopefully someday.
No, it's really cool. And I think like a huge part for me when I look at businesses and companies, I kind of look at their background and the community behind them, because community drives a lot of the things that we're seeing. And I've got to say, I was in your Discord and it was going crazy. Like the games were going on, the people were replying, people were having a nice chat. Who's been building up your community? We've got to give them a shout out.
Well, it is definitely the result of a lot of hard work from all our community managers and community leaders. CryptoAz is the leader. CryptoAz, who's on in the room, is definitely the leader day to day of our community. But I would say that the credit goes to him and our amazing team of moderators, but also just the amazing community members themselves. For me, we've been slaving in anonymity for so long that we only launched our community in January. And it's been amazing to me how quickly it's taken shape and taken on a personality and a vitality that we're really proud of.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, that's probably it from me. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we kind of go to the open floor and get some AMA questions going?
I would say that we're definitely in a mode where we're looking to learn with all the contributors and sort of community members and collaborators who are out there. So I would say, I would encourage anyone in your audience to obviously get in touch with us if you'd like to learn more. The best way to do that is obviously, follow us on Twitter or join our Discord community as a way of, really learning more about the project. And if there's ways you have to contribute, just let us know.
Yeah, that's totally cool. And I highly recommend joining the Discord. Looks like it's great fun there. So we'll open up the floor. Is there any questions? If you do have a question, the button down the bottom left-hand corner, which is the request mic button, feel free to click that there. Otherwise, if you don't want to put your hand up and you are in the Matrix World chat, feel free to put it in our AMA channel as well. And sometimes, Omar, we have a quiet bunch around here. That's fine. All right. No, looks like we're pretty quiet. Now, the other thing is we will be doing some whitelist collab giveaways as well. Oh, Golden, of course, I can get you on stage.
Was on Friday. I don't know why I'm thrown off. But I'm really excited to hear from your group, and I apologize if I'm asking a question that may have already been answered. So just want to say I did a little bit of research. I'm a big fan of the Matrix, and as they told me that you guys were coming on board today, I wanted to do a little research about you guys as well and kind of figure out what you guys are doing. When do the actual NFTs drop for the tennis game?
The NFTs will be dropping towards the end of this month. We haven't announced an exact date yet, but it is imminent. And the announcement is imminent, and I can give you like a preview that it'll be towards the end of this month, but they have not yet dropped. We have been obviously giving away whitelist spots and in general growing the community in preparation. We have some exciting announcements coming up in the next couple of weeks leading up to the planned drop.
And if I wanted to prepare myself for something like that and try to get involved in the project, did I miss what blockchain are you guys releasing the current NFTs on, and what would I be doing to try to get involved? I've joined your Discord. I've been kind of poking around, just trying to make some friends over there as well. And
amazing.
Yeah, maybe you can tell me a little bit about what platform are you guys actually going to be playing this on?
The initial Tennis Champs drop is on Ethereum. That is what the current drop is slated for. We're going to have additional drops in the future as well on other blockchains, but this initial drop is on Ethereum. And I absolutely encourage you to get involved in our Discord. That is the best way to, get involved and also learn more and, basically be in the flow of various opportunities to get a whitelist and other, features that we are, looking to share with the community.
Really cool. I follow lots of projects. I'm a crypto junkie and all attributes. I guess my question for you is your idea then maybe to run this on a different platform eventually and just do like a tie-in to the Ethereum NFTs that you create. So I'm part of some other projects that, like, for example, they run on BSC, but I have an Ethereum, NFT, for example, and all they're doing is just, they want to do that for obviously the utility purpose of how big Ethereum is right now, but to save on costs, is your actual game to be played on also on Ethereum? And I see I get maybe a JRT token back. Is that what I get?
So yes, we covered this a little earlier. Basically, the JRX token is going to be a multi-chain token. Currently, for example, in our Solitaire Blitz game, which is in beta, it is on Flow, and we've led with Flow, but we also plan to have the token on Solana and other more efficient basically sources, other more efficient chains where it'll make sense. But our goal is to be relatively agnostic and allow people to basically access the JRX token in the manner they want, in the cheapest way and most efficient way possible. The NFTs themselves are similarly multi-chain. As you pointed out, some people, in particular on Ethereum, really prefer their NFTs to be on Ethereum because it's a big ecosystem. And so our first drop of the NFTs is on Ethereum, but we will be following up with a drop on Flow and eventually on Solana in the future as well. But the notion is that for you as a player, when you come in the game, if you own an NFT, regardless of where it's living, you'll be able to connect your wallet in the game and have access to that NFT to use it in the game and take advantage of it seamlessly.
It looks really cool. It really does. I guess my very last question for you guys is, this is going to be more Web3 based currently, and it's not going to be a downloadable app? Or do you guys have any plans on, like, I see a lot of people struggling with, getting not even past Google as much, but getting past Apple's, strong points. Do you guys have any kind of gameplay when it comes to that? Like, do you guys have a strategy?
Yeah, so our Solitaire Blitz game is available as, from Apple and Google Play in permitted geographies, right? So if you're in the US, if you're in Canada, you cannot download the game. And that's obviously due to regulatory issues. But everything we're doing, we're being careful to thread the needle and ensure that we're abiding by App Store guidelines and requirements. And our current plan is to offer the games on Apple and on Google Play as regular downloadable apps.
Looks great. Okay, thank you for your time. Like I said, it's been really nice to meet you guys, and I jumped in your Discord. I'll be happy to say hi to you guys and hopefully learn some more, and trying to get on, see how early I can get some of those NFTs too. They sound great. Do we have a price for your NFTs on release?
It is not yet announced, but everything is kind of pending, and we expect to finalize everything by early next week. But we haven't announced the final pricing yet.
Great. And the very last question of the day is, do you guys have any, and I don't know if this is too early to even ask, but do you have any expectations of actually doing anything with the Matrix project, or are you guys just friends in the environment?
I think at the moment, this was more about a way to get to know one another.
Right.
I have been absolutely looking into the project, and I think there could be some pretty cool tie-ins. And so I'm hopeful that this initial AMA can, turn into a deeper collaboration in the future. Because like one of the things, for example, we're doing even with Tennis Champs is exploring tie-ins with other avatar projects, for example, that might allow those assets to be used as playable characters in our tennis game. And so we're very much trying to create sort of partnerships that allow for a mutual development of our gaming ecosystem with other partners as well. So I would definitely be hopeful that we find ways to collaborate. But for the moment, this is the start of hopefully a long and beautiful relationship.
It was really nice meeting you guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your questions.
Thanks, Golden. That's what we want. Hey, on the back of that, how do we invest in Joyride? Like, are you public traded, or are you just a token based like JRX? Is that the best way?
At the moment, our token is not issued. We are planning to list the token in Q2. We are a privately funded company, as you mentioned. Like we've raised money from top tier investors, and we're going to be revealing a lot of that in the next week or so as we start our sort of public launch in the run up to our NFT launch and eventual token listing. But for the moment, there's not really an avenue, but certainly excited to welcome all interested parties into the community, and certainly looking forward to having people participate in our NFT launch.
That's cool. Now, I think we did have one other person who wanted to ask a question. I believe that was Ultimate Winner. Did you want to ask something now?
Yeah. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask something regarding your partnership with Matrix World, because I am from Matrix World community. So just wanted to know, and I was excited what you guys are planning to do in Matrix World ecosystem. But I think my friend Golden just asked asked the similar question. So I think you guys already replied on that one, and wanted to know about your TG for the GRX token, and how it's going to play out in the gaming ecosystem, and what do you think is different from the other guild game tokens compared to your ones?
Sure. So I can't really comment on guild game tokens like in great detail, in the sense that obviously every guild has its own capabilities and features, etc. I think for us, we're optimizing our token to be an effective medium of gameplay and value exchange between developers, players, guilds, and all the other kind of constituents that have to coexist and basically feel good about the partnership that they have in each game that they're engaging in. And so what does that mean? It means that we want to make sure that the token is broadly available. We want to make sure that people can get in and out of it really easily, which is part of the reason why we have worked so hard to enable a multi-chain approach there. And that is true not only of the token, but also the NFTs themselves. And our goal, and it's also what we're then working so hard to provide a wallet and other features to the game developers that are using our platform, so that when they build and launch their games, every game is launching with that same ease of use as it relates to the tokens and the NFTs as the initial games that are taking advantage of our platform. And so how guilds would obviously interact with us would be that as we launch our NFTs, they are able to obviously own those NFTs and make them available to their scholars. And one of the initiatives that we plan is to then allow guilds a set of easy to use APIs and smart contracts for NFTs that are in our ecosystem. But I would say that is a initiative that we definitely have identified as a desire, but we still obviously need to follow through on it as our games go live and as guilds start actually integrating with us. But we've already talked to an initial set of guilds to make sure that we're learning what their needs are.
Sounds great. It looks like a great strategy. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Ultimate Winner. And we do have Jazzy J, who is next up. Jazzy, feel free to unmute yourself.
Hi, guys. Good evening.
Hi, Jazzy. Great to see you again.
Good to see you as well. I very much have enjoyed the AMA, and I don't want to take much time. I don't have a lot of questions. I think the AMA was very informative. Every one now thereafter has just been blowing my mind as to, the questions that are being asked and the information that I thought I knew or should have known, but am finding out. Just wanted to come and show love to the Joyride family, and so excited about all of these collaborations because we're, growing. Each and every, I mean, day by day, each and every AMA. It's just so exciting to be a part of such a wonderful project with such great people. So I just wanted to come and actually just show some love and thank everybody for, thank you, Matrix, for hosting. It's so wonderful to have these shared spaces where we can come together and talk about all of our shared passions and how they're growing and how they're continuing to progress. And I'm just so excited for the end of the month and everything that's coming up, and as we continue to grow, to continue building our family. So I just wanted to thank you guys again for hosting and for allowing us to be a part of your space and giving us that platform so that we can continue to spread the word for this wonderful project.
Thank you so much.
Jazzy, I love that. This is the future, isn't it? It's like that community kind of having these open conversations and collaborating as well. So lots of respect there, Jazzy. Thank you.
Yes, lots of love. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Crypto AV, I reckon you're up on stage.
First of all, I just wanted to say thank you to Matrix World for hosting us. As Omar said, I'm the community manager for Joyride. I just want to invite everyone here to come join our family. Thank you again for having us. Thank you, Omar, for this amazing AMA again. And let's keep on enjoying, keep on having fun.
Yep, I think that's the most important ingredient. Thanks.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. And Kimosabi, sorry if I've said that incorrectly as well.
Yeah, perfect, my man.
Legend.
Okay, I have a quick question for Joyride CEO. Sorry, Crypto, by the way. I know I've been heavy about this. I'm sorry about that. But as some of you might know, some of the big members of the community or members that are affected by the play to earn law that are kind of in place in different countries, preventing us to play the game or earn token through the game. It's both a question or a suggestion. I've seen that in multiple projects that have been affected by this. Since the players will not be able to get the token through the normal means, is it possible to give kind of a whitelist or give them access to a pre-sale of the token before releasing it so they can have access to kind of the equivalent availabilities to make the profit if you compare them to the one that have access to the game or no?
No, unfortunately not. I mean, the bottom line is that, we're a real company with real employees and real shareholders and, real laws that we have to follow. And so this is not something we desire by any means. We obviously want to make our games available everywhere to everyone as soon as possible, subject to the legal guidelines and regulatory requirements of each locale, right? So, rest assured that we're working as hard as we can and as fast as we can to enable that. But the fact of the matter is that, we are committed to offering all our games everywhere as quickly as possible, but we also are committed to doing so in a manner that, abides by the legal requirements of every jurisdiction. So, for example, the solution that you're suggesting, it just doesn't, unfortunately, address the legal requirements. So it's not something that is viable. But that said, obviously there are things that people can do and things that they cannot do. And certainly being able to buy an NFT, being able to still participate in the community, and obviously being a part of the family as we approach, as we keep evolving and growing and eventually are able to make the games available in areas like the United States and Canada that are currently off the allowed list, is something that obviously we hope everyone can still participate in and take advantage of. But for the time being, that is a limitation that we can't do much about.
Okay, thank you, my man.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you for those questions. Now, quickly, is there any more questions before we wrap up for this one? I know, Ultimate Winner, you've got your mic off again.
Yeah, I just wanted to know who all are the backers for the Joyride project, like the institutional or private investors, if they can share. Because I was going through their web page, I couldn't find any details on that. So, in case if they are okay to share it with us.
Unfortunately, we aren't sharing that today, but you can stay tuned, and it will be part of our basically plan over the next couple of weeks as we basically come out of hiding and stealth and start talking about all of those types of news. So unfortunately, I cannot share it today, but I can tell you that we're backed by a very well-known and good group of investors from both the games business and the crypto space.
Great. Thank you.
Sure.
Awesome. Now, I should make note, there is going to be some whitelist giveaways for Matrix Labs community members. So there will be an announcement that will be on Twitter after this as well. So make sure you follow their Twitter. Make sure you jump into their Discord and say hi to Crypto AV, that's for sure. And turn on those notifications so you don't miss out. Now, I think that's going to be the end of this one here. I do appreciate everyone tuning in and coming along for the ride. It's been great. Omar, is there any inspirational words to end us for this session?
I don't know how inspirational they are, but I definitely want to, give a shout out and thank you to Matrix World and you for hosting, and for all the community members for attending, and for all the community members who continue to power our community as well. Just very grateful to everyone for the positive energy, and look forward to growing together. So thank you so much.
Amazing. Now, do you mind? There's one person who's just put their hand up, so I feel like I'm going to give them the chance. Is that all right?
Sure.
All right. Cole, you might have to accept them for a request. There we are. All right, I've got that one there. All right, Riyat, do you want to say something? It might take a second to connect, sorry. Awesome, you're on. Nope, doesn't want to speak. That's all right. Well, thank you again. In the Twitter space of that, what a great one. Oh, no, we're on. Go, Riyad.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, you're on.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to ask if a public wants to invest in Joyride, if there is a token launch, what would be the requirement? Is there any announcement about that?
No, there isn't. We are planning on our token listing in Q2 of this year, but for the moment, there is not a publicly traded token for people to access.
Okay, thanks.
Best way to get involved and stay on top of it is obviously to follow us on Twitter and to join our Discord.
Okay, I just wanted to ask if we public can take part in that.
When it's, I think once the plans are fully set, we will be obviously publishing those plans in Discord, but there's nothing that's at the moment announced on that front.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Sure, thank you.
All right, that is it. Final words. Join our Discord. join Joyride's Discord. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Take care,
everyone.
See ya.
Take care.